45 minutes of daily interaction, giving every member of our football family, from grassroots clubs to national heroes, an opportunity to have their voice heard over the next 6 weeks. The upcoming election for President and Executive Committee members promises transparency, unity, and progress for our beautiful game. Join me in Ben Gagba, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and take part in shaping the future of Liberian football. Your vote and your voice matter. Don't miss Lfa Decides 2026, beginning Monday, March 2 at 11 a.m. on Intel Sports, the passion for broadcasting.
Welcome to Cola Cash, the simple, secure, and fast way to manage your everyday payments right from your phone. Getting started with Cola Cash is easy. Just enter your phone number and your 5-digit PIN to log in. In seconds, you're ready to take control of your payments. From the home screen, everything you need is right at your fingertips, from airtime to electricity to merchant payments and more. Running low on credit? Tap on airtime and data, select your network, and top up instantly, for yourself or someone else. Need to pay for electricity? No problem, just tap LEC, enter your meter number, and pay your bill in just a few taps. No lines, no hassle with Cola Cash. With merchant payments, you can pay at your favorite stores, restaurants, pharmacies, and more, safely and cash-free. Your Cola Cash wallet shows your balance at a glance, and you can easily access other options like in-app notifications from every transaction, agent locations, and merchant locations whenever you need to. And if you ever need help, our support team is just a tap away, ready to assist. Download Cola Cash today on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and experience the freedom of fast, secure payments wherever you are. Cola Cash, improving the way you spend, send, receive, save, and pay.
Well, a pleasant welcome. This is another edition of Lfa Decides. Today is Wednesday, 18 March 2026. Well, this is what we'll be doing until Election Day. I must have you informed that election has been transported or will be transported to Maryland County in the city of Harper. It's for the first time the Liberia Football Association election will be going to the Southeast. To contest one position for president is up for grabs. A couple of positions for the committee members also offered grabs. I think 13 positions or so. We'll have over 30 candidates who will be applying to occupy those slots. My name is Ben Gagba, as always, your usual presenter. Yesterday we had a fascinating show. Today we even had a more fascinating discussion kept centrally around women's football and how does it affect the upcoming election. Well, stay there if you can. When I come back, I have my illustrious guests. We've got 2 football teams in the women's football leagues in both first and second tier. We'll be hearing from Teddy Dine. I hope I got the pronunciation correct. But he is the president of Bourgeois Queens. They've had 2 clubs. One is in the women's upper league and the other is in the lower league in the second tier. So we'll get his perspective ahead of the election to come soon after this break.
As the LFA heads the elections on April 18 in Maryland County, Intel Sports brings together key stakeholders for an interactive evaluation program titled Lfa Decides 2026. This platform provides 45 minutes of daily interaction, giving every member of our football family, from grassroots clubs to national heroes, an opportunity to have their voice heard over the next 6 weeks. The upcoming election for President and Executive Committee members promises transparency, unity, and progress for our beautiful game. Join me in Ben Gagba, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and take part in shaping the future of Liberian football. Your vote and your voice matter. Don't miss Lfa Decides 2026, beginning Monday, March 2 at 11 a.m. on Intel Sports, the passion for broadcasting.
So a very pleasant one welcome back. It's about 5 minutes past 11 o'clock, and I have the pleasing honor to welcome Mr. Teddy Dine, President Butcher Queens. Teddy, that's a pleasant welcome. For the essence of our conversation and the viewers out there, tell us, where are you joining us from?
Thank you, Ben. I'm currently joining you from Houston, Texas, in the U.S.
Give a little bit of background about yourself. What drove you into joining the football community, especially seeing a man diverting resources to women's football? What is that one single individual thing that drove your motivation to choose women's football?
Well, naturally, as you know, as a Liberian, we all grew up watching football, and we love the game. Myself, I love it, and I like to play. But for me, the inspiration for being heavily involved into women's sport is just my upbringing. Um, uh, as I was growing up, a lot of the influential people in my life have always been they've been women. My mother, my grandmother especially, and throughout my professional career, a lot of supervisors and managers that I've had, those that I felt has been a lot more productive in terms of getting results have always been women. So it's just my way of empowering women to be able to, especially our Liberian women and Africa in general, to be able to achieve more, right? But the main inspiration behind my heavy investment into women football has to do with my grandmother. She played a very, very influential role in my life, and unfortunately, she passed away before I could, do a lot of what it is that I plan to do for her in terms of empowering her as well. So this is my way of remembering my late grandmother and just keeping her memory going. So everything that we do at Bushra Queens, it have a little touch of how my grandmother will usually encourage us to get things done, which is excellence.
What an amazing story, amazing motivation that have driven you into women football. May I say, may her souls and souls of all departed rest in perpetual peace. But we're going to talk a lot of things. We'll talk women football, basically. We'll talk integrity and accountability of the Liberia Football Association. We will also talk about government support to women's football in particular. And obviously, we'll talk about the election because in a matter of months now, election is pending, and around about 30 plus people or so will be going out for votes. Okay, and I think 13 seats or 14 seats will be out for grabs, and competition for those seats will be very high. So we'll talk election as well. So just a little bit of lineup I want to provide to you and our audience out there and our viewers out there, so they follow and know what we're doing. But let's stick a little bit with the football. Since you've been into women football, how actually has it been? To begin, how long has it been?
This is our third season within the women football sector. I initially came into women football because of a colleague of mine had a friend who was trying to sell their female team. At the time, the team was called Cocky FC. This was in the 2023-2024 season. So this colleague of mine intended to both purchase the club together. Unfortunately, as we were going through the negotiation process, he had some issues where he had to back out. But because I have already met with the players, and I've given them my word that as long as they had a passion for this game, I was going to do everything within my power to continue to continue to empower them. I decided to go ahead with the purchase of the club through my family nonprofit TED Foundation. And yeah, within our first year, when I purchased the team, we went around. I was in Liberia for about a month and a half, and we went around. We acquired some players from West Point, New Time, all over Liberia, Magibi, and within our first season, we were victorious despite a lot of challenges, some systematic and some just as part of the process of building a club. But yeah, we were able to qualify the team from the lower league up to the upper league, and then our first season in the upper league, we rebranded from Koki FC to Bushra Queens. Last year was our 2024-2025 was our first season. I think we did well. Unfortunately, we had a lot of injuries that kind of hamper our progress. And then this season as well, we played. In my opinion, we played really well during the off season. Unfortunately, there were some key decisions that didn't go our way in terms of player acquisition. And then we had some internal issues, some internal process, operational procedure issues that caused us to start the season really poorly. But we were able to turn things around. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, we'll come to those specifics later on, but how did you manage to inherit or to establish two female football teams?
My idea of how we build an effective football club is focused around grassroots, right? There's this belief that I have that in order for us to be the very best, there has to be a process that is established. So the idea of having a grassroots team came about because of some of the major challenges. First of all, I don't think it's feasible that every season we will go ahead and transfer players from other clubs. And within Liberia, if you run a football club in Liberia, you know that's a major challenge. To be able to get players transferred from other club to your club is a major challenge. And bringing in foreign players as well is very costly, also a major challenge. But for us within Bushra Queens, we exist to support the LFA effort in terms of developing local talents that will represent our nation. So
Okay.
I believe that process had to involve us starting a grassroots program that actually give us the ability to focus on the development process of the player over time.
Okay, we got 2-3 crucial months ahead to decide who becomes next president of the Liberia Football Association, executive committee members, and so forth. How crucial do you think that election is as it relates to the growth of women's football in Liberia?
It's probably one of the most consequential decisions that we have to make this year, right? Not only us at Bourgeois Queens, but other stakeholders and other clubs that are in the league, because these are the individuals that are in the background making the decision in terms of how we grow, not only at Bourgeois Queens, but as a federation and as a nation. So for us at Bourgeois Queens, this decision is so important that I just don't sit in my cozy office and make a selection or have an agreement of this is the individual or you just call. We have a process within Bourgeois Queens where we have a committee when it comes to these major decisions. This committee is chaired by me, my vice president, Kwayan Zeze, my chief of staff, our head coach, and our team captain. So we have these 5 of us that sit on this committee, and we have a weekly meeting based on what we're hearing through the media, based on people that are reaching out to us. and then we are reviewing these individuals, their contribution to the growth of football, and then coming out with an internal decision. So it's a very detailed process that we have to follow, not a decision that is just made by me and the president. Even though as the president, yes, I have, in some cases, I have the final say and I can veto some decisions, but I try to take the input of these very important people within my institution.
And as yet, are we close to a founder decision? Because time is elapsing.
One of the thing that we're looking at right now is we do not know when the election is going to be. We do not know who the candidates are going to be, right? So we are observing the climax to see how all of these played out, right? I mean, one day you're going to hear that, oh, Raji is not going to be president again because he's reached his term limit. One day you hear Kasser is not qualified to be able to run, and we hear of court injunction. We hear of so many things, right? So at Bourgeois Queens, we are sitting back to see how all these play out through the courts, and then see who our candidates are. But we do have good ideas, right? We do have good ideas of where we are leaning.
Can you confirm as to whether either of the two camps have approached you? The Raji camp, the current incumbent at the Liberia Football Association, and the only presidential hopeful that we all know, Mr. Kasser Antonin Cole.
I cannot explicitly confirm that the account have reached out to me. What I would tell you is there's always proxy conversations that happen. One of the things for me that I have as a requirement at Bourgeois Queens is we try not to do too much with proxy, right? We are going to, we expect that the candidates, we expect to have a conversation with Raji so that we can share with him our concerns of football. And he's been president for the past 2 terms, and to some extent we have been under his administration, and we've seen some of the things that he's done. We've seen some of the challenges. So I, as a president, I will be having a conversation with Raji to share with him my ideas of how we develop football. And
if I'm sorry for interrupting you, but if I'm to ask you, what are some of those concerns that you do have that you may table in front of the incumbent if you meet him on the development of women's football?
One of the biggest things for me, right, is integrity and fairness within the game, right?
Okay.
It's very crucial from how we make sure that, you know, clubs are being treated fairly, have due process in some major decisions that, you know, the FA has to come up with. It's also very much important when you look at our investment in football, especially in Liberia, right? Not for me personally, is the return, right, is very minimal. So one of the things that we look forward to as stakeholders is when you wake up on Saturday or Sunday to watch your team play, or which day of the week, you want to make sure that your club is being treated fairly, right, on the field of play, as well as decisions that's happening at headquarters, right? So at Bourgeois Queens, we have some governance concerns within the federation in terms of how transparent some of those issues are. These are some of the concerns that I am going to put out to the president, and then as we are going forward to see what his thought and ideas is in terms of how do we improve in those areas.
Let's stick with integrity and accountability allowed. You made some very salient points of late. There's been suspension, bans, and so forth. Even your own club got affected couple of days, if not a week ago, when the Liberia Football Association made a decision, I think, to suspend 5 of your players and a couple of members of the coaching staff.
It's an issue that we within Bourgeois Queens we take very seriously, right? Because these type of decisions, right, impact why we exist, which is the game day, right? If you look at all our preparation, all the money that I spend on the club operation, the effort that these officials and players put in every day to train and prepare for the game, it all comes down to that one game, that 90 minutes. So when we have decisions that is made, right? If you look at the decisions that the LFA published a few days ago, 5 members of my playing body, which affect my senior team as well as our feeder team, Bourgeois Queens, suspended, and each of them are fined 50,000 Liberian dollars. So that's 7 individuals. That's 350,000 Liberian dollars in fines. Now, some may argue that these fines are towards the players and the officials, but here's the reality, right? These players are people that we're trying to empower. And at Bourgeois Queens, we take on the responsibility to sponsor their education, get them materials, give them the necessary support they need to have love for the game and continue to play. Where are they going to get 50,000 Liberian dollars from to go ahead and pay? So these type of fines, it falls on the club.
Welcome to Cola Cash, the simple, secure, and fast way to manage your everyday payments right from your phone. Getting started with Cola Cash is easy. Just enter your phone number and your 5-digit PIN to log in. In seconds, you're ready to take control of your payments. From the home screen, everything you need is right at your fingertips, from airtime to electricity to merchant payments and more. Running low on credit? Tap on airtime and data, select your network, and top up instantly, for yourself or someone else. Need to pay for electricity? No problem, just tap LEC, enter your meter number, and pay your bill in just a few taps. No lines, no hassle with Cola Cash. With merchant payments, you can pay at your favorite stores, restaurants, pharmacies, and more, safely and cash-free. Your Cola Cash wallet shows your balance at a glance, and you can easily access other options like in-app notifications from every transaction, agent locations, and merchant locations whenever you need to. And if you ever need help, our support team is just a tap away, ready to assist. Download Cola Cash today on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and experience the freedom of fast, secure payments wherever you are. Cola Cash, improving the way you spend, send, receive, save, and pay.
As the LFA heads to elections on April 18 in Maryland County, Intersports brings together key stakeholders for an interactive evaluation program titled Lfa Decides 2026. This platform provides 45 minutes of daily interaction, giving every member of our football family, from grassroots clubs to national heroes, an opportunity to have their voice heard over the next 6 weeks. The upcoming election for President and Executive Committee members promises transparency, unity, and progress for our beautiful game. Join me, Ben Gagba, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and take part in shaping the future of Liberian football. Your vote and your voice matter. Don't miss Lfa Decides 2026, beginning Monday, March 2 at 11 a.m. on Intel Sports, the passion for broadcasting. As the Lfa heads to elections on April 18 in Maryland County, Intel Sports brings together key stakeholders for an interactive evaluation program titled Lfa Decides 2026. This platform provides 45 minutes of daily interaction, giving every member of our football family, from grassroots clubs to national heroes, an opportunity to have their voice heard over the next 6 weeks. The upcoming election for President and Executive Committee members promises transparency, unity, and progress for our beautiful game. Join me in Ben Gagba Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and take part in shaping the future of Liberian football. Your vote and your voice.
Put in every day to train and prepare for the game. It all comes down to that one game, that 90 minutes. So when we have decisions that is made, right? If you look at the decisions that the LFA published a few days ago, 5 members of my playing body, which affect my senior team as well as our feeder team, Bourgeois Queens, suspended. And each of them are fined 50,000 Liberian dollars. So that's 7 individuals. That's 350,000 Liberian dollars in fines. Now, some may argue that these fines are towards the players and the officials, but here's the reality, right? These players are people that we're trying to empower. And at Bourgeois Queens, we take on the responsibility to sponsor their education, get them materials, give them the necessary support they need to have love for the game and continue to play. Where are they going to get 50,000 Liberian dollars from to go ahead and pay? So these type of fines, it falls on the club, right? So I'm being asked to pay $350,000 in fines for 7 players. Now, I have always been an individual who believes that fair is fair. If you do the crime, you do the time, right? But within the club and with all the evidences that exist to us, we feel like we were unfairly treated. We were never given due process for our players. And this decision came about without us having warnings given to us. Now,
and sorry for interrupting again. I have to say sorry for interrupting. But since then, have you appealed the decision as it is customary in football?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. That's the point I was just about to get to, right?
Okay.
We are going through the process. I do not need to sit here on your platform to litigate this process, right? We have conversations going on at the FA, and I feel confident, right, that we are going to get all the redress that we think is warranted based upon the facts that exist today. But I also feel obligated to be able to share this because I understand that I do not have the opportunity to specifically speak to all of the stakeholders of the concerns that we have through a private link. So this platform, and I thank you for at least inviting me here to be able to share my ideas and some of the challenges that we are experiencing. But yes, we are going through the process right now with the LFA and at Bourgeois Queens. We are very confident that after the appropriate processes have been followed and our evidences that we've provided has been reviewed, that some of these suspensions will be overturned. And we already are starting to get some confirmation on those.
And do you also believe, like you said, I mean, the fine is so heavy, 50,000 for each of the players, and the fine reflects back on the team because those players are players you're trying to empower, and logically on their own, they can pay $50,000 in fine. Will you be leveraging with the Liberian Football House to reduce those fines?
The first step for me is to work with the Liberia Football Association and make sure that justice is served. That's key. If there are individuals that were included in the list who did not behave disorderly, they have to be removed, right? The FA got to look at the evidence. And then once that is done, depending on how many players are going to have to serve the suspension. But yeah, I think what it is that we're trying to do at Bushra Queens while we exist, looking at the economic situation, clubs do not necessarily have major income coming in. I think we will be working with the FA to see where we can get some reliefs on some of those fines.
Okay, so you are watching the president of Bourgeois Queens. There are two teams in the women's upper division and the lower division as well. He's no other but Teddy P. Dan. He's been in football since 2023. It's been just about 3 years, but they've been making significant strides. You know, they've got two football teams, and in fact, I must mention that he's a stakeholder by having one team in the women's upper league. He has a voting right, and his club will be a member of the ordinary elective Congress, which is slated for Harper, Maryland County. This is Lfa Decides 2026. My name is Ben Gagba. We are having a very good conversation. We're going to be here until 11:45. So back to the guests. Let's talk about government support to football. On the politics side, some have said that recent government supports to the LFA, to women football, and to the national team, the Lone Star, have been political, so to speak. They have had undertones. And those opposing the incumbent don't think that government should be spending money on women's football. For example, 25,000 from the office of the managing director through the Liberia Petroleum Refinery Company to women's football. What are your thoughts on this subject matter?
I have seen how other countries develop sports, and I can tell you that no country in the world, especially those that are doing really, really well within their sporting sector, would have developed to that level without government support. Government support is very, very essential, especially within Liberia, where we do not have income from media rights and some other major companies that are sponsoring. So we do welcome the government support, both what it is that was given. I believe it was $24,000 that was given by the managing director to the LFA for Women Football Development. Every institution, those state-owned enterprises as well as private corporations, we all have corporate social responsibility funds, and there's a need for the LFA to be supported, whether it is the women football or grassroots football development in particular. I have heard that some have expressed concerns that maybe there might be an undertone. Yeah, each organization and each individual have the right to be able to think the way that they perceive these type of denotion. But I have to tell you, from within Bourgeois Queens, we see these type of denotion as being very essential to how we develop the game. It's something that we welcome, regardless of the timing. If you look at a few years back, we had the orange sponsorship that went away, and since then we haven't been able to get more sponsor with with the sponsorship from the Liberia Maritime Authority and that of the LPRC, is one that we welcome, and we are pleading with the government and other state-owned enterprises as well to be able to see how we can leverage sports as part of our nation building process, right? And how they can contribute some of those corporate social responsibility funds to the Liberia Football Association so that we can develop grassroots sports.
Okay, so we all want support for football, especially women football. We can see our women football gravitating from one level to another. 10 years back, we had very fewer clubs, 8 clubs. Today in Liberia, we can brag of having over, I think, 40 some more clubs in women football. So on many fronts, that's significant improvement. But the author of the game, the chief supervisor of the game, FIFA, has frowned against political interference in football. Members of the opposition think that these donations have political undertone. Is there any way we can differentiate a genuine support to women football from a political undertone support to women football?
Within Bourgeois Queens, right?
Yeah.
We do not get the impression that there is a political undertone based on the notion that is coming in. And here's how I speak about it.
Okay.
No one from the FA or no one from any of the entity that have made this denotion have come engage us at Bourgeois Queens to tell us otherwise, right? I don't see this as a quid pro quo type of denotion, just because we just don't see it that way, right? If somebody comes to me and say, "Hey, we want you to maybe vote for this individual because they're with this entity and they've made this denotion," then we can come out with our own conclusion, right? But what I've seen so far and what I've heard, these are, even if you look at our president, the chief patron of sport, which will be the President Jose Yoma Bwaka, he have encouraged a lot of development. He have encouraged a lot of investment within a lot of these entities. So if people that are working within these public institutions are seeing it necessary to invest within sports, which actually play a key part of the nation building process and the development of youth, I think that these corporations are just following the development agenda that the current government has, right? But within Bourgeois Queens, we don't feel like there is any political involvement. We actually feel like this is belated. This is something that should be happening, or should have been happening for quite some time.
Okay, so I know women in football, we all know, is very challenged. You barely see young girls turning up or signing up to play football. Let alone you also see young women, turning up to support these young girls play football. Ahead of these elections, at the supposed date, April 18, I think that date has been moved. The LFA will come out to give us the correct date. I will speak to that later. But like I was saying, you barely see young women come out to support football. We have a couple of them who've been very passionate over the past years, and they've made significant strides with their investments. I mean, in the last 3 or 4 years, you don't discuss women's football in Liberia without mentioning Grace Weah. Most people affectionately call her Master Queen. You don't mention Benetta Ure. She might be the younger of the two. And there are more young people coming to football, including Molly Jabo. But of late, Benetta Ure, Grace Weir, both have been slapped with fines. And Benetta particularly banned 5 years from football. Generally, I mean, I'm talking about the political aspect of it, but generally, what is they going to do to those young women that are trying to spend their meager finance into developing female football in Liberia?
For me, I have always been an advocate of fairness, transparency, making sure that everyone get fair treatment. Grace Weir, or Master Queen, as most people know her, Benita Ure, Maureen Jabo. These are people that I have, talked to, and I know them to some level. I know them relatively well from a footballing perspective. At regarding, let's focus on the two that have been suspended, which would be
Yeah.
Grace Weir and Benita Ure. Within Bourgeois Queens, we do not have an intimate understanding into the circumstances surrounding their suspension. Just what it is that we've heard on the media, right? But what I would expect is the appeal process for these two stakeholders is treated fairly with the utmost urgency in respect to their contribution to the development of women football, right? So without giving an opinion, just because I will have to look at the facts, I'll have to look at the investigative reports, which I'm not privileged to do because I'm not on any of those committees to be able to come out with a fair judgment. But my expectation is that when these suspensions are made, these individuals appeal. And we expect that the appeal process is treated with the utmost urgency in giving respect and consideration to their contribution over the development of the game over the past 5 or so years. But that is all I can say, right? In the background, I have not received, and we're all stakeholders. We have phone numbers and direct contact to each other. I have not had a conversation with Benita Ure to understand the circumstances around her suspension, just based on what it is we see on the media, and the same with Grace Weir as well. I do know that when we received this, the suspension of employers and officials over the past few days, they and myself, we had some exchange of concerns as well, and they reached out to to express their concerns and try to get some understanding around what is going. So my appeal to the FA, as someone who through the constitutional process, as I say, I'm not on any of the committees, but just as a stakeholder, these people play a very important role within the development of women football, right? If they have error in some ways, we have the constitution and we have the rules, but let their appeal be treated with the utmost level of urgency and fairness.
Okay. The thoughts of Terry P. Dan is president of Bourgeois Queens. They've got 2 clubs in the upper league and the lower league as well. I think the upper league is women's upper league. I'm yet coming into terms of factoring what is the name of the lower league, but I know they have 2 teams in those divisions. It's been my guest here on Lfa Decides 2026. We are gingerly closing in on the closure time on the program. But Mr. Dan, if you were to make a recommendation at the level of the executive committee, for the moment, there's one position exclusively for female, and that position is for 3rd vice president, currently occupied by Mistress Judy Reed Seaton. What would you recommend in terms of numbers for people to sit, for females to sit on that level of the EC to represent more female clubs? What would be your recommendation?
This is a conversation that we've had within our club and just within the footballing community in general. If you look at some of the countries that do well, whether either within the national government or just if you work at some companies, you're looking at the ballroom, right? You do see that in either national government around the country or companies that do well, you need to have a proportional number of female representation. I always reference Rwanda as one the country that's doing really well, and within their parliament they do have a lot of women, even within some of those ministerial positions. So within our federation, as you rightfully said, we have one female position, which is the third vice that is currently occupied by Madam Seaton. We've had a continual conversation, and I do remember sitting down with the current LFA president in the past, with other stakeholders at the time when we were in the lower league, where we talked about we need more seats on the executive committee for representation for women football. One of the things that we've always talked about is that the lower league clubs need to have a representation on the executive committee seat. So, but just in general, I think it's necessary that the FA add more seats, and I'm not talking about maybe 2 seats. There needs to be more, right? Because women football is developing at a rapid pace within Liberia. And to be fair, the competition, women football is as teeny as the male football as well. If not, well, I mean, I might be biased, but if not equally or more entertaining, right? So,
I think you're a little biased. The commercial value the men game has, the women's game having risen to that level. I mean, I hope I'm not biased as well. But for the moment, the lower league doesn't have any sponsorship due whatsoever. Doesn't sign in for subvention from the Liberia Football Association. What are you thinking about this?
A lot of that has to do with the conversation we're just having, right? Okay. Which have to do with representation. Lower league clubs, unfortunately, if you look at it, right, I think this season the LFA have taken some steps where we have lower league going on in Magibi, in Banga. The expenses for boots, for football, for transporting players, for giving players support to keep them motivated to play the game. So I think there needs to be a level of support to lower league or lower league clubs. Hence, that's why some of those denominations, like the one that came from LPRC, is very much important. And we believe that these type of denominations shouldn't be politicized, right? They are needed to help us to continue to develop grassroots football. And we encourage a lot of the other state-owned and private enterprises to be able to see the need to be able to contribute towards our overall development of women football, both at the grassroots level and at the upper tier as well.
You talk about direct support to clubs in the lower league or in the lower tier there. And do you think the elections in a few months' time is going to influence that?
As to whether the election is going to influence the support to lower league?
Yeah. Do you think that maybe that league is going to get support in the next couple of weeks or months from now after the election, because clubs over there are contributing? Similarly, clubs in the second division are playing for promotion to first division, and they are promoting players as well to beef up the strength in the first division.
We can only hope, right? We can hope
Okay.
that the support to the lower league club will continue past elections. That is our hope. But what I can tell you is the support that we stakeholders within the lower divisions are getting now. These teams do not vote, right? The lower league club do not have the right to vote. So if we are getting the support now, I don't think that that's being done to induce us to be able to vote because we don't have those rights. So we are optimistic. We are optimistic that this is going to the support is going to continue if we are going to see the league to develop, to continue to grow at the pace that we are seeing it now. So yeah, that's about all we can say, right? We hope that
We
the support continue and more comes.
we could go on and on with the conversation, but we have to cut it quit. We talk about women football, talk about integrity and fairness in football, making judicial decision. We talk about fast tracking appeals at the level of the appeals committee at the Liberian Football House as well. We talk about the Congress coming up, elective Congress. We talk about making suggestions for specific seats for more women to participate at the level of the EC. Is there anything we didn't say you want to conclude on this presentation of Lfa Decides 2026?
Well, the first thing is I want to thank you for inviting me on and giving me the platform to be able to share my ideas of how we develop football as well. Within Bourgeois Queens, our focus has been and will always be on the core issues, which is the development and the empowerment of our female players. And even though this conversation is targeted around female team, but I also own a male team, Teddy FC, which is the champions of the Logan Town subcommittee as well. So this is our goal, and as a club, we want for there to be harmony. We want for everyone to be able to coexist and be able to treat each other fairly and with respect. We think that this is very much crucial if we are going to continue to develop the league. There has to be a level of empathy uh, with every stakeholders so that we can all work on a goal, right? Why there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of back and forth going on now as we are in election season. Our hope is that when the election have come and passed, those who win, right, that we can all work together. At Bourgeois Queens, we do not choose opposition. We're not in opposition or in position, as they say. We want to work along with those that are in the position today on area of mutual interest, which has to do with the development of the game. And where we differ, we like to sit down and have a dialogue so that we can find a common ground because there's always going to be differences. But for us, we focus greatly on the integrity of the game, good governance, right? We encourage those that are within position to continue to do the development and those that are going to come, right? Those that are coming within the executive committee or even the presidency. We do not know how that's going to end up, but our focus should always be on progress, building on what it is that the people before us have built up to this point and continue to build on it so that we can make collective progress. So I want to thank you again very much for giving me the platform to be able to share my ideas. And I look forward to maybe more future engagement after the election.
Thank you ever so much, Mr. Telly P. Dunn. He's Chief Executive Officer and founder of Bourgeois Queens. And two teams in both women's upper league and the lower league. It was a pleasure having you on Lfa Decides 2026. That's how we go home on this presentation of the program. But before I go, this media release from the Liberia Football Association that the Liberia Football Association informs stakeholders and the public that the Civil Law Code has formally lifted the writ of injunction placed on the 2026 LFA Ordinary Elective Congress, pending the determination of the petition for declaratory judgment court. With the lifting of the injunction, the Elections Committee will now resume its functions and will release the new electoral guideline or electoral calendar in due course. The LFA has updated FIFA on this latest development to ensure continued compliance with international football governance standards. It also goes on to say that it remains committed to transparent, fair, and democratic elections process. So that's all the time we've got for this presentation of Lfa Decides 2026. We're keeping more time to women football this week. On tomorrow, Thursday, the 19th of March, we've got the female club president of World Girls FC, Molly Jabo, president of World Girls FC, will sit on our platform beginning at 11 o'clock. Until then, always remember this Lfa Decides 2026 on Intel Sports, the passion for broadcasting.
As the LFA heads to elections on April 18 in Maryland County, Intel Sports brings together key stakeholders for an interactive evaluation program titled Lfa Decides 2026. This platform provides 45 minutes of daily interaction, giving every member of our football family, from grassroots clubs to national heroes, an opportunity to have their voice heard over the next 6 weeks. The upcoming election for President and Executive Committee members promises transparency, unity, and progress for our beautiful game. Join me, Ben Gagba, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and take part in shaping the future of Liberian football. Your vote and your voice matter. Don't miss Lfa Decides 2026, beginning Monday, March 2 at 11 a.m. on Intel Sports, the passion for broadcasting.
Welcome to Cola Cash, the simple, secure, and fast way to manage your everyday payments right from your phone. Getting started with Cola Cash is easy. Just enter your phone number and your 5-digit PIN to log in. In seconds, you're ready to take control of your payments. From the home screen, everything you need is right at your fingertips, from airtime to electricity to merchant payments and more. Running low on credit? Tap on airtime and data, select your network, and top up instantly, for yourself or someone else. Need to pay for electricity? No problem, just tap LEC, enter your meter number, and pay your bill in just a few taps. No lines, no hassle with Cola Cash. With merchant payments, you can pay at your favorite stores, restaurants, pharmacies, and more, safely and cash-free. Your Cola Cash wallet shows your balance at a glance, and you can easily access other options like in-app notifications from every transaction, agent locations, and merchant locations whenever you need to. And if you ever need help, our support team is just a tap away, ready to assist. Download Cola Cash today on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and experience the freedom of fast, secure payments wherever you are. Cola Cash, improving the way you spend, send, receive, save, and pay.